Thought my neighbors were talking about me. I was hearing shit. I was in my house and like I hear voices and everything. But it was enjoyable. So slowly I'm turning into an actual drug addict because of the courts. When a fraternity tells you that you have an alcohol and drug problem, you have an alcohol and a fucking drug problem, okay? And it's progressed. This is where things get weird. And this actually led up to my first psych ward visit. And she's like, do you want to hurt yourself? And I'm like, no. Do you want to hurt others? And I'm like, yes.
Welcome to The Recovery Idiot. Please like and subscribe and visit therecoveryidiot.com. Your source for all the black market recovery idiot stuff. Please follow us on all the social medias we still have left. The following contains explicit language and situations that some might find unsettling. Viewer discretion is advised. Like more than normal, someone's got quite the potty mouth.
Here's the thing, it started out fun. Lots of weed in a march, Jamaican rum. Tons of spice started to damage the brain. And came heroin with the girl from Ukraine. Cocaine and psychedelics even learned to huff some gas. Subs and dope sickness took a couple shots to the ass. Dr. Phil said it would work, made it 100 nights. But threw it away for the price is right. When did it all go wrong? After smoking crack from a bong. 100 but the bags won't last that long. Showed up at college but the mind's gone. How did the suburbs steer me so wrong? The last run wasn't fun, now I'm done thanks to crack from a bong. Thanks to crack from a bong.
I flossed my teeth today.
You have real...
I have real teeth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're a drug addict?
Yeah, you can look at my arms and tell. If you think you can make my life any worse, go ahead, take a fucking shot. That's kind of how I live my life today.
That's a good mantra.
Yeah, if you think you can make my life any fucking worse, go ahead and take a shot. I promise you probably can't. But life is pretty good, man. 7 years sober.
But wait, we gotta get to that.
All right, fucking run it.
See, I have a script.
You got a script. There's like 5 words written down.
This is a lot more complicated than other scripts. I met you while I was living in a halfway house, and you were one of the first people that brought this program called Drug Addicts Anonymous into my life. And I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, no, it's the fucking
All I
symbol.
know is...
You think you know Drug Addicts Anonymous, you don't know the fucking symbol?
No, I know. I'm talking about back then. I didn't know what DAA was, but you're carrying a big book. And I was like, oh, one of these people.
No.
And then you spoke, and it was about stuff I could relate to. Eventually, I dove into Drug Addicts Anonymous, but you were technically the first one that introduced it in my life.
Wow.
What were the events that led you to being the person who brings a Drug Addicts Anonymous meeting into a halfway house?
Years of in and out. Years of in and out, man. I got sober in 2018, and that's probably right around the time when I brought that meeting into Artesian, was it?
No, I didn't get there in 2019.
Okay, whatever. What made me do it is because my fucking sponsor told me to do it. I didn't want to do that shit, but he told me if you can't hold on to something that you don't give away. So I did all those things. Whenever I got asked to speak, even though I really didn't want to do it, I fucking did it. And even if I had like a haphazardly fucking bullshit share, which that's happened to me before too. And I think you've actually witnessed some of that too. But at the end of the day, the message is there. Whether it's well formulated or not, or I'm fucking having a bad day or I'm tired, it gets my ass in that chair. And I share my story to people who hopefully they'd like to hear it. But I'm sure most of them probably don't.
Yeah, but that goes with every meeting and every...
It does, because I'll tell you right now, man, when I came down here in 2018, I was cooked. I was done. Finito. And that was after fucking, so what was that, 2012 to 2018, that's 6 years. Only like 4 years of it was actual drugs, like heroin and crack. Not just like marijuana and drinking and mushrooms and LSD and ecstasy and fucking cocaine. But heroin and crack were the things that took me out.
That's when people frown upon recreational drug use.
That's how it started off, man. I'm from Crystal Lake, which is a far northwest suburb of Chicago.
No, you were supposed to say Chicago, and I was supposed to say Cabrini Green, South Side. What part of Chicago are you from?
Just look at the color of my skin, man. I'm basically from Wisconsin, bro. I'm from the fucking cornfields. If I say I'm from Chicago, people actually from Chicago are going to get upset because I'm not from Chicago. I'm from the greater Chicagoland area.
Okay, that's a very good point, and I respect you doing that because
I've done it before, and I've had to have people come at me correct, and that's okay. I don't blame them. Chicago's a big place.
Reminds me the first time I met you and you said something about Chicago. I spent some time in Chicago in 2004, and it was an amazing heroin and cocaine fueled experience. My friend had told me, you should come to Chicago for Thanksgiving. I was like, hell yeah, man, let's go party. And we're driving up through the city, and you start seeing the trains on Dan Ryan, and you're going up.
Yeah, the L. Yeah.
It's just so cool looking. being from New Jersey where the subways are underground. And then we keep driving. And then we keep driving. And we end up in this place called Evanston. And this is where the Kevin McAllister house was from.
It's near. It's not in Evanston, but it's around there. Yeah.
But it's that type of neighborhood.
Right.
It was at that moment the richest place I had ever been my entire life.
The North Shore of Chicago is nice. The suburbs, yeah.
But saying you're from Chicago and you're from Evanston,
not the same.
out of all places, like, oh, the street cred died.
Instantly. So you were smoking crack and shooting heroin in Evanston?
Oh, I never smoked crack. I would shoot it up. I'm a gentleman.
Okay. The first time I smoked crack was out of a bubbler. He had the chore boy in there, but it was filtered with water, so he was like a sophisticated crack smoker. And this was my heroin dealer at the point in Elgin. I got put on that Vivitrol shot. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
I know what it is, though.
It's the booty juice where they shoot the naloxone or naltrexone, I think it is, into your ass, and it slowly releases into your bloodstream over the course of 28 days.
So you can't get high?
No. It'll feel like all fuzzy and warm, but it'll go away instantly, and you don't get high. There's no euphoria to it whatsoever. But
That
you can
sucks.
smoke crack. And another pro tip, you can actually get drunk on it, too. You just have to drink a lot. A lot. Smoking weed helps.
Well, smoking weed helps with that.
Yeah, so if you drink like a 12-pack and you fucking smoke some ganj, you're going to get drunk. You're going to feel good. So I lived like that for fucking years, man.
So when you first started doing drugs, what was it, just
smoking pot, dude. The first time I smoked pot was like in junior year. I started hanging out with the older crowd. You know, my mom said, oh, you're hanging out and dating older girls, and they're like a year older than me. They're not that much older. But they're all smoking cigarettes and they're all smoking pot and drinking. The first time I actually drank booze, I got trashed, and it was Jamaican rum in an unmarked bottle. There was no label on it, no nothing. Somebody swiped it from their parents' liquor cabinet, and we drank it in my parents' basement. I had a few friends over. I remember I took 3 big pulls on, and I didn't feel shit. I didn't feel any. A few minutes passed by, and I stood up, and then bam, it hit me like a fucking brick wall, dude. I was all over everybody, telling them how much I loved them. It was a mess. And then later into the night, I proceeded to vomit all over my parents' bathroom floor.
time to remember?
Yeah, and then my friend told me to eat like bread because it'll soak up the alcohol, I guess. So I ate like half a loaf of like Wonder Bread.
So
But,
basically normal stuff.
normal
Smoking
kid
weed,
shit,
drinking,
yeah.
like we all did in high school, hanging
Right.
out with girls that smoked cigarettes.
The first time I smoked pot was with like a random group of friends, acquaintances more or less. This is junior year of high school. We're smoking behind the 7-Eleven in this strip of woods, Crystal Lake South, great school. It's right across the street from a shit factory, like a sewage plant, but it smells like it literally smelled like shit every morning. It must have been discounted land. The school board
I've
jumped
never
on.
heard a sewage place called a shit
It's
factory.
called the
That's
shit
a good-
factory.
good-
Yeah. But yeah, no, we're smoking in this little strip of woods behind this 7-Eleven right across the street from our high school. Again, I took like a puff or two and I didn't feel anything, but a few minutes passed, and then as soon as my body like recognized this foreign chemical in my bloodstream, everything suddenly became like traced. Kind of like you're on LSD, everything was just swirling around, and I couldn't stop laughing. I could not stop laughing. It was the best time of my life. That little strip of woods behind the 7-Eleven across the street from my high school suddenly turned into like a national forest. It was amazing. It just enhanced the experience. Like I literally felt we were in the middle of Montana or some shit, right? But no, we're like right off the main drag, and there's a fucking highway right over there. From there, I started smoking pot every single day.
If I enjoyed pot like that, I would too. If it felt that great, I always got paranoid and felt retarded.
You got to smoke through the paranoia, man. You just got to keep smoking.
That is good advice for anybody out there. Who,
Please keep smoking through the paranoia. It gets better. But no, the psychosomatic auditory hallucinations, seeing shit visually, that was all there. And like I sure the paranoia was definitely present when I smoked pot. And I thought my neighbors were talking about me. I was hearing shit. I was in my house and like I hear voices and everything. But it was enjoyable. I actually enjoyed it because I felt good. Sooner or later, like the paranoia eased up. And after smoking marijuana every day for, I think it was about 8 months before I got arrested, every day I was literally off to the races instantly. And like my brother came home the night the first time I smoked pot, and he knew right away. He could just take one look at me. And then my mom found out too. They all smoked weed when they were growing up. You know, I was sitting on the couch watching TV with my hand in a bag of potato chips. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty obvious. Me and my friends, we go pick up a dime bag, right? $10 worth of pot in a loose napkin. It was in a loose napkin. It wasn't like in a steel bag or nothing, but literally just like in this loose napkin. I got a grinder and a pipe on me too. None of it's mine. fine. It's all my friends, but we're driving my car. My friend, he's like, hey, man, pull over. I gotta pee. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine. I'll pull over. He's like, no, pull over like right now. I pull over in this a preservation area, like a park, if you will. But there's no like playground equipment. It's just like, you know, a prairie, because that's where I'm from. Fuck cornfields and prairies and shit. It's not Chicago. And I pull up next to the only car in the parking lot, put the car in park and turn the car off. I was like, all right, go pee. And then when I look over to see the car that I parked next to, it said police right on it. And like I was already feeling good. You know, I think we were already smoking pot, and like I think I drank like half of a Four Loko. And this is like back in the day where
the real Four Loko,
the real Four Loko, the real shit, not whatever the fucking bullshits in gas stations these days. But yeah, no, the cop got out instantaneously and walked up. You know, I rolled down my window and he's like, hey, how you guys doing? You know, you're not supposed to be here. It's after dark. It was like dusk. The sun was setting. It wasn't even all that dark out, but I guess the park is open from dawn to dusk. I was like, all right, yeah, that's fine. We'll get out of here. And he's like, well, hold on. You're not going anywhere because I can smell cannabis. And I'm like, cannabis? What's that? I was a pretty smart kid, right? I did dumb myself down pretty quickly with smoking copious amounts of marijuana every day for 8 months. From literally being like a goody two-shoes straight edge kid, a fucking square, to smoking pot every day. Like I changed overnight. It gets better though. Naturally, I get arrested. All my friends, I took accountability for everything since it was my car. I'm driving. I made the dumbass mistake of parking right next to a fucking unmarked cop car.
Did your friend get to pee though?
Man, that's a great question. I don't know. I can't remember. That's still my best friend to this day. He was the best man at my wedding. We've gone backpacking and shit together. He's sober now too. He's been sober for a few years, which is great. Me and him partied a lot together. That kicked off a series of events that would continue to fuck my life up. Because life was still pretty good, dude. Just me smoking pot every day. I was still going to school. You know, my entire friend group changed though. All my old friends were like, no, we don't want anything to do with you because you smell like cigarettes and weed. I got put on like a juvenile probation. I think it was called the diversion program for first time offenders. Because I was 17 at the time, so they didn't charge me as an adult. I had to go to like a court ordered outpatient program, and it was called TAG. And I forgot what TAG, what that acronym is. It was a great program, dude, because you could smoke cigarettes inside, and like even if you were underage, therapists would let you smoke cigarettes. It was great.
So your
smoke.
First experience with outpatient is because of weed.
Yeah. I was in there with actual drug addicts too, and I'm looking at these people like they're all fucking whores. They're all sucking cock for fucking blow and dope and shit. And I'm sitting here like I just got arrested with a dime bag and paraphernalia. Like I'm not a drug addict, but like it scared me enough to the point where like I actually like went up to the guidance counselor at school, be like, hey man, this happened, and because like you know I'm a fucking little scrawny white kid from the suburbs that comes from like a upper middle class family.
And you don't at the time want to blow people.
No, not yet. I never sucked any cock for dope or blow. But I decided to do like a victim impact panel, you know, all that bullshit that comes with being put on a juvenile diversion program. But this is back in the day where Spice, the synthetic weeds, the K2s,
the real stuff.
Oh my god,
the original fake weed was completely different.
Holy shit! And I literally replaced that. That shit's not marijuana, man. It fucks you up dirty style. I wasn't smoking like bongs of it or anything, because that's how you give yourself a heart attack, I hear, or like you have a seizure and you fucking stroke out. I was literally going to my outpatient program high off my ass on that shit, and they knew.
Couldn't test for it back then.
They didn't know. Well, they knew, but they couldn't test for it. You're right.
I was living in Jacksonville when that stuff came out.
They sold that shit at the sex shops.
At the counter, right next to the register, was like 20 different types of spice.
It's a one-stop shop. That's fantastic.
But I seen it, and I had no idea what it was. And I was like, well, we're at a porn store, and they got this stuff you can smoke. I think I need to try it. Yeah. And that actually led me to bath salts, too, because they also sold them there.
Bath salts, man.
But the original stuff was different.
The original formulations were fantastic, because when the government found out about it, all they had to do was just tweak the chemical composition of it just slightly, and then it's illegal again.
Then the new formula makes people eat faces off.
That spice shit really fucked me up, and I was in my senior year of high school at this point. I was in this outpatient program, and it was Super Bowl weekend. We're all hanging out, drinking beers, doing cocaine, smoking weed at a house party. Literally that next Monday, I had to go to outpatient, and I get drug tested. And I'm sitting there probably high on spice again. They test me, and they come back, and they're like, hey Kevin, you popped hot. And I'm like, yeah, I've been smoking spice. I don't even know why I said that, because that didn't come up. But they're like, yeah, we know. But what else did you do? I'm like, oh, I did some cocaine. And they're like, all right, what else did you do? And I'm like, I drank. And they're like, okay, yeah, besides all that. I guess there was like meth in the coke.
Oh.
Yeah, so technically I've done meth. But,
so you almost scored 100. You almost tested positive for every drug.
Dude, I lit that shit up like a Christmas tree, man. It's fantastic. So slowly I'm turning into actual drug addict because of the courts. I was just smoking pot, hanging out, you know, still going to class, making decent grades, even though my GPA definitely tanked a little bit. And, like, all my teachers knew, because half of my high school years, I was straight-edged, right? And then junior and senior years when I started smoking pot and drinking and partying. And then, like, my PE teacher was like, hey, Kevin, you lost some weight. You're looking good. And I'm like, thanks, man. And, like, I'm getting fucked up. I didn't say that, but, like, that's what it was. Like, I was just fucking smoking party. That's, like, what my life turned into. But lo and behold, kept doing cocaine. I went to my probation officer. All this shit's already been reported. So my it could have been a year, though. But anyway, it didn't matter because it turned into, like, almost 2 years of me being on probation. Eventually, I did complete the program, and apparently I wrote one of the best personal statements about a victim impact panel that my PO has ever seen, you know, so that just goes to show that pretty smart kid still, I guess. I dumbed myself down big with that spice shit, because that shit's bad news, brother. Like, you feel retarded after smoking that shit. Like, me and my buddy would always say this, and I know he's going to appreciate this, like, one hit to feel good, 2 hits to feel great. Out of a one-hitter, that's all you fucking needed, man. That shit was nasty, man.
And some really weird side effects.
Like eating people's faces.
Oh, I didn't actually do that. At the time, there was just a whole bunch of fake synthetic drugs or whatever, and there was one called Ocean, and it was supposed to be like ecstasy. And this girl bought a couple, and I was like, fuck it. Actually, at the time, I was off methadone, I was detoxing hard, I was running out of benzos, I just needed something. This pill, which is so weird, you dissolve it in water, and then drink the water, like a little Alka-Seltz. And I drank it, and when it kicked in, I felt like I was standing in front of a furnace. Like, I had never been so hot in my life. And it felt like I had motion sickness. Like when you're on a boat and things won't stop rocking, lay in her bed, and I'm trying to force myself to sleep, and I'm really wired, and I'm so hot, and everything is like, and it was so miserable.
That's a dirty fucking high, dude.
The next day, I didn't have any other drugs to do, so I did it again.
Damn straight. That's what we do, man. That's how we do it. That's what we do best. I had a similar experience with the bath salt. The first time I tried it, again, I was an outpatient, probably at a different place. That first arrest with a dime bag of weed and paraphernalia fucking just kicked off like a series of events, fucked me up. All before actual drugs got introduced. My friend, he was just gonna go get a pack of cigarettes at the head shop, right? All right, go get a pack of cigarettes. We're gonna go fucking hang out and drink some beer. But he comes back with some fucking container of the bath salts.
The little vial?
The little vial, and it's like revitalized bath salts, and they're like rejuvenate, revive, like Jesus Christ. And I already heard about this shit, and I knew it was bad news because you saw in the news what happened to I think it was in Miami, where the dude ate the other person's face off. But he brought it back. He got back in my car, and I'm like, what do you got? And he's like, he got the fucking bath salts. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I don't want to do bath salts. Are you fucking kidding me? But lo and behold, you know, we're hanging out with a girl. They're both doing it, so I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know, why not? I'll do some fucking bath salts. Yeah, really, it was all right. You know, we just railed it. I think, you know, in order for you to really get high off of it, you have to probably do the whole container or shoot it up. Or smoke it, but we're just railing it, and you're wasting it at that point. So if you sniff drugs, you're wasting it.
That is true.
It's fucking stupid.
I've heard people that I respect in recovery talk about how I never picked up a needle.
That's because you're a pussy.
Yes, like, what is wrong with you? You're not a real drug addict.
Right. But to each their own, right? I didn't really feel all that euphoric until I started drinking and smoking spice on top of it. So literally, we're smoking, and this shit's legal, dude. Legal. You can go to the head shop and buy it. And we're sitting in his tent behind a strip of woods, behind some townhomes in lovely Crystal Lake and Lake in the Hills, Illinois, where there's no crime. It's just suburban white kids getting fucked up, and that's all the cops have to deal with. It's fucking stupid. But I guess that's changed now, I guess, over the past decade or so. I digress. Yeah. So yeah, we're sitting in his tent with this girl, and I remember just looking outside of the tent, and everything was so vivid, and I was fucking gone. Gone. And I could drive. Everything was great. I was driving around like hilly roads and everything in a neighborhood, and I couldn't feel my leg. Could not feel my legs. The lower half of my body was just numb. And I'm driving a car. It was a lot of fun. We talked about paranoia earlier with weed. Like, this made me way more paranoid because I was on probation. All of my paranoia stemmed from me putting myself in fucking crazy situations, right? And having to deal with, the courts and everything. Bath salts, the spice, the cocaine, the weed. Like I said, I finally finished that juvenile probation program, graduated high school. And my parents thought it'd be great that I go to Northern Illinois University and follow my brother's footsteps. Straight after high school, after just completing a drug diversion program. Lo and behold, I made it a whole semester and a half before being asked to leave the college.
That's commendable.
I mean, at least I got a whole semester, and I got a 2.5 GPA. So I pledged a fraternity, and that was great, man. That was the most fun you'll never want to have again, doing the whole fraternity deal. But I was so fucked up when a fraternity tells you that you have an alcohol and drug problem. You have an alcohol and a fucking drug problem, okay? And it's progressed. There were like events where you had to stay sober for, and I didn't fucking stay sober. I came to the event fucking high off my ass, just smoking pot and shit with my dorm roommates. You know, I was hanging out with my dorm roommates more than my fraternity because like they didn't like to get fucked up like I did.
What kind of fraternity is that?
We don't have to get into it. But they were good people, man. And like I said, my brother went to Northern Illinois University. That was like the only fraternity he fucked with. My brother's like a punk rock, fuck the establishment type of guy. But he could always take or leave drugs and alcohol. I couldn't, so I'm like the black sheep of my family. My parents were very surprised when they found out I like to do drugs and alcohol, you know.
Like, I think most parents are.
Yeah, because I was a good kid. I was a good kid for so long. So yeah, I got kicked out of school. I could have gone back. All they wanted me to do, like the fraternity got involved. I was so drunk one night, I didn't have any cigarette, and I really wanted a cigarette. You know, when you're fucking plaster drunk, you want a fucking cigarette. This one kid had a cigarette, and I was like, all right, do something crazy. All right, so I fucking had a lighter in my pocket, and I fucking held the lighter for like probably a minute or two, and then took the beaming hot lighter. And you can actually still see the scar. It's right there. Put it on my arm, but it's like, no, that's not good enough, dude. That's some pussy shit. So I was like, all right, I relit it, and then I put it on my fucking face. Yeah, and then I got the cigarette. The school kind of like caught wind of me.
When you're walking around with third-degree burns on your face,
yeah.
It might attract some attention.
Right, so my pledge class actually got called to the dean or whatever of me and the rest of my pledge brothers. It was like 15 other guys had to show up in this conference room, and they were questioning us whether or not the fraternity was hazing us because of me and how fucked up I was.
Because you're doing crazy stuff to yourself.
I know. And you know, they were doing the classic hazing shit. Nothing crazy. You know, they fucking blindfold you and put you in a room for an hour and blast fucking Kanye West songs, and then they line you up, put a floodlight on you, and they would hang this dildo from the ceiling, and they're like, don't fucking look at me, look at the fucking cock. And but it was a lot of fun because you got drunk as shit afterwards. They saw how fucked up I was because I was fucking just skating by, not really a part of the fraternity or my pledge class, and just smoking pot and drinking. And you know, that's when I started doing like LSD and mushrooms and shit. So much fucking fun. We would get high behind the dormitory there. Again, strip of woods, right? We always, like, smoking in a small strip of woods is my go-to. There's this fucking gopher hole, like a good fucking several feet into the ground. And one of my buddies, he left the circle and fucking went to go answer a phone call. His whole foot went into this fucking gopher hole, dude. It was so fucked up. And we had to, like, carry him back to the dorm, and then he had to go to the hospital and everything. He fucked his foot up. He was in a cast for, like, another 6 months.
And you were on LSD when this happened?
I don't think we were on LSD at that point. I think we were just smoking. But I tell you what, man, the first time that I ate mushroom was in college. We went out back, again, in the little strip of woods to smoke. As soon as we finished smoking, dude, there was this airplane, like a jumbo jet going across the sky, and you know how they leave the
contrail,
the contrails, or what do they call them?
Chemtrail.
The chemtrails. Yeah, you fucking moron. None of that shit's real. You're fucking stupid.
Hey, birds aren't real.
Yeah. The contrail was literally a rainbow, bro. It was warping and changing colors, and we all had the same visual. It was awesome. It was fucking fantastic. So that's when I started really going to town with psychedelics. So actually, I pledged the fraternity. They accepted me as a brother. In order to become a brother, you had to like do what you needed to do as a pledge and get a 2.5 GPA, which is C, all C. And I got a 2.5 GPA on the nose, so they accepted me. And but my shit got so much fucking worse, dude. I went to this other fraternity's party. This is where things get weird. And this was only like a small period of my life, like 3 days. And they're all huffing shit. They're all huffing shit. Now, I don't know if they were trying to like just fuck with other people and like not huff anything themselves, but yeah. So I started doing that just for a night.
What exactly were you? Because there's various things to huff.
Yeah, just like fucking household cleaners, I'm sure. You know, something along the lines of that. It wasn't
Duster.
This shit actually like fucked you up dirty style to the point where you probably need to be hospitalized. And I did become hospitalized, but we'll get there. I'm fucked out of my mind, dude, at this point. I'm fucking fried. I was definitely in psychosis. You know, driving around my car. I'm driving in the school's parking lot, like going up and down the fucking, and just like having a great time by myself, dude. Just enjoying it, going for a ride. Lo and behold, the car eventually runs out of gas. And I think I'm behind like some strip mall or way outside of town. And I had to walk all the way back. And this is DeKalb, fucking Illinois, in the middle of fucking cornfields, about 2 hours west of Chicago. So I had to go get gas, right? I didn't have a gas can. I'm a poor college student who's addicted to drugs. I got a water bottle And I went to the gas station. I went up to the cashier. I was like, hey, put like $2 on pump whatever. And I got a water bottle in my hand. And the guy takes one look at me and was like, you're not going to huff this shit, are you? And I promise you, that was not my intention. I was not going to huff gasoline. But that motherfucking corn-fed redneck put the idea in my head. It's like, all right, I'm going to start huffing gas. I did put a little bit in my car, but the rest I proceeded to, huff. This is where things become really hazy. But I remember like waking up the next day in my dorm. My underwear was completely soaked and my bed sheets were complete because your body just instantly rejects all that shit. But I was still in psychosis. So
just a quick detail. How were you huffing gas? Because I know somebody used to put it on a rag.
A rag, yeah.
Smell it.
You're goddamn right. It was a rag. You know.
Well, you are the second gas huffer that I have had at this couch.
It was just the one time. Though.
It still counts.
It still counts, and this is a part of my story. My dorm roommate was very concerned for my health. He called the ambulance. He called 911, and I'm in the shower at this point because you're literally like rolling. Like it kind of feels like you're on like ecstasy to an effect. And I'm sitting there dicking around with the temperature of the water. I'm fucked up, and it was great. And so the paramedics come in. They're like, "Hey, Kevin, how you doing?" And I'm just sitting there, probably just like, oh. So yeah, they hospitalized me. They drug test me there too, and they only found 2 things in my system: Adderall and just weed. The rest, it doesn't come up on a drug screen like that, unless they want to spend a shit ton of money. And I think I was just like on my stepmom's insurance. They didn't want anything to do with that. So the school got wind of all this shit. Like obviously, I was on their radar for a long time.
You must have smelled like gas too.
Probably, and I was sweaty as shit because my body's just instantly rejecting all this shit. And I did miss a key part of this that I went to. This always reminds me of the Forrest Gump part where he goes to the Black Panther party and he's the only white guy there, and he's like, "Oh, sorry to ruin your Black Panther party." And so, because I went to a black fraternity's house party, and they welcomed me. It was great. I think they called me Special K. I was already very fucked up at this point, and they had this Arizona can and a shot glass right next to it. I never got a clear answer as to what it was. But I took 3 shots of it. I think it was LSD. I think it was just dosed. Just liquid LSD, and they put some water in it, because it was tasteless. So yeah, I was also on LSD on top of huffing household cleaners and gas.
And weed.
And Adderall. But that was just in my system probably from the previous days, because you can't do college without snorting Adderall.
Oh, of course.
It's just part of the process. But anyway, so the school guidance counselor and like the police, they all got involved. I never got charged with anything because there was no like really disorderly conduct. I didn't hurt anybody. I was just hurting myself, and I didn't really realize that. But anyway, they recommend that I go get help. So this would have been like my 3rd or 4th treatment center at this point, just outpatient level. Again, all before heroin and crack. So I'm moving back with my dad. You know, I'm off my rocker at this point too because I'm still in psychosis. I wasn't right for at least 3 months.
Wow.
I wasn't right, man. I would go hang out with my other friends. They were like, "Kevin, you are fucked. Like, something has happened to you." And, like, I was so crazy that I wanted to join the armed force at this point. I wanted to join the Navy. I wanted to be a fucking Navy SEAL. And I'm fucking nuts. Beyond crazy. Yeah, obviously that didn't happen. But I did take some steps to get to that point. I had, like, recruiters calling me and shit. But, yeah, my stepmom didn't want me living with her because I was fucking crazy. And I wasn't respecting her rules either. And this actually led up to my first psych ward visit. Yeah. So I've only been involuntary committed once. And that was the only time because I was just gone, dude. And I remember I was like walking aimlessly around the southwest near suburbs of Chicago where my dad lives. I wind up at this hospital they do an assessment on.
Like were you just picked up on the street? Or?
Well, no, my entire family was concerned for me. They were all very concerned. They're like, "Kevin, we want you to go to the hospital just to get checked out." And I'm like, "All right, that's fine." The nurse there is asking me all these questions. And she's like, "Do you want to hurt yourself?" And I'm like, "No." "Do you want to hurt others?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Of course. I don't want to be here.
I was pissed off. I got kicked out of college. I'm back living at home. The whole world's against me. But I didn't think I would be involuntary committed. But lo and behold, there was. So this fucking sucked, dude. They tried to diagnosed me as schizophrenic. Yeah, that obviously didn't stick. There was like 5 days I was in there, and that was a fucked up time, dude. My family, my brother, they were scared again. All before crack, so shit gets worse. I wind up going back to like community college. The only thing I needed to go back to NIU was just to get a psychiatrist recommendation and complete out. I obviously didn't complete that outpatient program. I failed it on the 28th day of 28 days because I got high. Thought it would be a good idea to go back to college.
Celebrate when you're getting out of the 28-day program.
Get drunk, get high. Yeah, no, I fucked that up. And I'm sitting in that treatment center with people who are like doing heroin and doing crack, and I'm like, yo, these people are fucking nuts. Like, I'm so fucking self-centered, thinking that I'm fucking normal, but holy shit, I was looking back at it, man, it's fucking crazy. And it's probably why I'm half retarded these days too, but that's okay. The timeline's all jumbled, but all the major events are there. I go back to community college. Fuck that. I got many Fs on my transcript. I never bothered to get like a medical withdrawal. And this is me like pretty much sober too. Like, I probably only smoked pot a handful of times, only drank a handful of times. But I slipped into, like, this depression, you know, because getting kicked out of school fucking sucked. Being isolated from all your friends sucked. And I'm going to community college. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I went there.
Oh, God. You got nice walls here, nice white walls. See, my brains would be all over them if I had to keep going back to community college. This led to me being introduced to the thing that would really fucking destroy my life. I met this girl. She was doing heroin, but I was starkly against actual drugs. Like, I'm not doing heroin. We're not smoking crack. None of that shit. No meth. But I like helped her. I helped her a little bit get off the heroin. And here I am like judging her for doing dope. But we just smoked. We drank. We tripped. We did all that stuff. We did coke. She was like my ride or die. We were on and off for like 5 years, man. After probably like a year or so of dating this girl, and shortly after my 21st birthday was when I tried heroin for the first time. And I just sniffed it, and it was some fucking stepped on bullshit. And I barely got high. I didn't feel shit. It was like, what the fuck is this? This is what everyone's so like ranting and raving about. Like, I saw what it was doing to like other people, and other people that I like went to high school with. And it like a lot of people I know overdosed at that time. And this is fucking 2014, you know. This is like before fentanyl really became prevalent. But the second time I did heroin, holy shit. It was like re-rock, like little shards of it, and you crushed it up and you snorted it, dude. You were fucked up for hours. I couldn't pee. Like, you know, you get so high on heroin you can't pee. We were drinking on it too, so like I had to pee so bad, and I'm sitting on my friend's toilet like a bitch trying to pee, and I couldn't pee, and I literally nodded off on that toilet for like 3 hours. It was great.
You're the first person that has brought that up. Yes.
Can you relate?
Yes.
You can't pee when you're high on heroin.
There's so many places I remember sitting on the toilet backwards with my hand under the water in the sink. Because if I feel the warm water, I can start to pee. But it doesn't happen. And you just sit there and sit there. When I was going to the methadone clinic, the same thing happens. And you have to take piss test there. And I couldn't. I started sneaking fake pee into the methadone clinic. Right. Not to fake a drug test, but just to have pee. Because I couldn't do it.
I never got into methadone, thank God, because that shit sticks with you. I was only sniffing heroin for like 2 weeks, bro, because everyone I was hanging out with were shooting it up. That really fucking separates the men from the boys. I remember the first time I shot up heroin, like by myself. Like, usually I always had my girl do it for me or a friend. First time I did, I remember exactly who I was with, because they were already out. They were knocked the fuck out. They were fucking enjoying their nods, so I was like, they're not gonna wake up and shoot me up, so I gotta do this myself. Again, like around like 8 or 10 months, I made it work. Much like I did the first time smoking pot, I made getting high on heroin work, shooting up and having a decent job. I think I stopped going to school, but I can work. And I was doing, I was a catering driver outside of Chicago in the suburbs, delivering food to like small business meetings. And the money was good because I got 50
tips.
You got cash tips, brother. I'd walk out of there with $100 in my pocket every day, on top of getting like minimum wage. So I was making decent money as like a 21, 22-year-old heroin addict.
And just driving around to have to deal with assholes all day.
Just driving around, man. It was great. Like I said, it lasted just shy of a year. I finally had enough.
Went downhill that fast?
I sustained it, man. You know, because getting high is great. You know, I'm making money, but I'm living check to check. Everything's going towards dope. And it's no fucking life, though. But god damn it. Like, the rush of picking up on the west side of Chicago is awesome.
So that's one of my first big Chicago memories. My friend's apartment, it's in the city, I'm not sure where. And they got tons of coke. I got pictures with this mountain of coke on a scale. It was great. And I was like, can anyone get heroin? And they were like, shh, no, don't talk about that. Like, that's
heroin's bad.
That's for junkies.
Right.
Let's do some more coke. This kid was like, yeah, I can get some. Let's go. And he drove me into the project. And it was just dark. It was dark because it's night. It's dark because the people. It's dark because there's no power on inside of these places that we're getting stuff from. It's just like, looks like an abandoned city. But when you pull up white in that car, a lot of people come out with their hands full.
All they see is money. $$ signs right there. White person, money.
Yes, absolutely.
You have no other business there.
And it was the only place I ever got like a dime bag of weed. It was a dime bag of brown heroin.
Yeah, the little stamp bags, yeah. You get like 13 of them for a bill. They're called a jab. The jab is $100 worth of heroin in the city of Chicago. My guy, he'd give you 17 for $100. That's a fucking deal.
I couldn't believe how much I got. I expected enough to get high once, because in Kansas City, you're spending that much to get high once.
Right.
And he came back with like,
right.
This is going to last so long.
Right. No, it never does. It never lasts as long as you want it to.
I've never seen anything like that. The heroin.
Drive-ups, the drive-thrus, you know, people just lining up. And I never actually met dude. I called him every single day. Never met him because I always met his runner. And that's just how they operate.
That's the smart way to do it.
I had a relationship with them for years. But anyway, like I said, going back to that 10 months, man, I finally had enough. I couldn't live like that anymore. So I went to a voluntary treatment center. All on my own, man. This is the first time I actually sought help on my own volition. Every other time it was either by the courts or the cops or the parents or like mandated because I want to hurt people, even though I had no plan. But yeah, so I went to detox and I did pretty well there, man. I did like 2 full days and 3 nights. I was like, I'm good. I'm cured. Get me the fuck out of here. They gave me some Subutex and I'm feeling good. Get me the fuck up out of here. I'm good. I'm not like these people. Meanwhile, my counselor there is calling my dad and saying he needs more treatment. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. He needs a positive support sober group around him. And I'm like, fuck all that shit. What is, just as long as I don't do heroin, I'm gonna be all right. As soon as I get out, I fucking pick up like a quad of weed, a quarter ounce, and start drinking, and I'm hanging out having a great time, man. Yeah, that lasted about 2 weeks before I had a needle in my arm again. That just kicks off a fucking series, but like with actual drugs, because crack cocaine was introduced at this time. Smoking it out of a bubbler with my drug dealer, who's actually sober now too, which is really cool. He got raided shortly after I went to detox. Thank God I fucking got sober, or I tried to get sober at the time, or tried to get clean, I guess, because I don't want to be sober. It's like I just need to get off the shit. So shit got worse. Then I get arrested. I think it was in Cicero. Great neighborhood. Yeah, great neighborhood. I'm with my boy and his pregnant girl. Because we're all doing heroin together, and I was the only one with a car.
This is such a good episode of Cops you're about to describe.
Yeah, she's pregnant. We're all dope sick. We pull off up to the block, right off Cicero, and then we head south because I was actually going to drop him off at the airport, Midway, which is just right down Cicero Avenue, 50. We got like 6 blocks south, and we get pulled over, basically for just being white. Yeah.
Well, in that neighborhood, the only white people who are there is to buy drugs.
That's right. But it's the Cicero cops. They pull us over, and they're like, oh, we saw you make a turn without a turn signal or some shit off so-and-so. It was all bullshit, dude. I was driving clean. I know I was. Because you have to. But, we straight up got profiled, and we got pulled over, and they rip apart my car. They find everything. My buddy had a fake ID. I think he was actually on paper at this point, too. So he got thrown into the slammer. We all got arrested naturally, right? A pregnant girl who's dope sick, and then me and my boy, we all get locked up in the Cicero City Jail, and then the next day we all get driven up to bond court in Maywood. This is like my first real time getting arrested with actual drugs. So the bond judge was just like, all right, here's an I bond, sign this piece of paper and promise to show up 30 days later in court. My buddy gets locked up because he's got a long rap sheet. Now he gets locked up at 26 in Cali in Cook County. So I had my dad come pick me up from Maywood. I was like, hey, yeah, no, I got arrested with heroin. We need to go get my car out of the impound. You know what's crazy is that if you want to get your car out of the impound that day, it's more money. Usually it's the other way around. Like the longer your car stays in there,
it's more expensive.
It's more expensive, but it's the other way around for some fucked up reason. The city of Cicero's fucking ass backward. But my dad fucking did it, dude. And I really wish he didn't, looking back at it, because yikes. Shit continued to get worse, man. I never learned my lesson. I just get slapped on the wrist and walked out. Meanwhile, like, I'm in fucking lockup with, like, fucking gang members, killers, shooters, fucking drug dealers. Like, I'm the one coming to you with money and buying your drugs, and I'm in here with you. And I actually met some other white people in there, too, and guess what they were in there for? Heroin. Yeah. So I get arrested, and same thing, like, court-ordered outpatient, but I'm actually on drugs this time. I think this is when I got, like, on the Vivitrol shot, but you can still get high on weed, you can still get high on acid, you can still drink a little bit on it. And I did all that shit in a court-ordered outpatient program and got away with it all, man. Got away with it all. I didn't get charged with no felonies because, like, the felonies didn't stick. The judge threw out the case. So what do I go do after completing successfully, barely, that outpatient program? I go right back to doing heroin. I got high so many times in between. Like, I played the drug test right, dude. And I got away with it all. Maybe a year later or something, I get arrested again. Not even a year, dude. It was like 6. It's crazy. And it's the same fucking judge. The same fucking judge. I got arrested in Oak Park, which is just a little bit further west of Cicero, right off 290.
But they still drive you to the same court, right?
They still drive you to the same bond court. I'm in Oak Park. I get locked up, drive up to Maywood again for bond court. All right, I bond again. Come back at 30 days for court. And I literally got appointed the same fucking judge. I don't think the judge recognized me, dude, because shit, it was even easier the second time. They made me do Cook County's drug school program, which is a complete fucking joke. You literally go to 4 consecutive Saturdays for 4 hours, and it's just like drug education. Yes. And literally where I was picking up was right around the corner. So it worked out great. No drug screens, no nothing, dude. It was fucking crazy that it was easier the second time. Man, Cook County, get your shit together. That's fucking crazy.
Well,
I'm not a criminal, though. They got bigger fish to fry. You know, I get it.
That's why so many people don't get it, because they just keep getting slaps on the wrist. It goes. If I had gotten like 10 years in prison the first time I was arrested, I might not have been arrested 36 times. 36. But I had lots of slaps on the wrist.
Yeah, dude, I only think I've been arrested for.
It's all for heroin?
No.
Oh.
So the first time was that fucking the loose napkin dime bag. Did that to myself. Me and my buddy look back and then we laugh our asses off. The second time was like underage drinking. Oh. Again, me and my friends, this was on prom night, so again, way before heroin, but we're drinking in a strip of woods. We're drinking Skull, Nasty, and the Mickey's grenades, the malt liquor in the little glass,
so
the grenades,
good.
And they have the puzzle on the cap. Fucking fantastic. It's in a suburb, in a nice, affluent, mostly white suburb. That's where I'm from. And we parked our cars right in front on prom night. I didn't fucking go to prom. They called the cops on us naturally, because they're like, yeah, these kids are up to no good. The cops come and they fucking pull everyone out of the woods. And I'm sitting in the back of the cop car. My buddy's like about to start puking. I'm like, don't do it, dude, don't do it. And he just blows chunks all over the back of the cop car. I think that was the second time I got arrested. Again, it's like underage drinking, and I had a pack of cigarettes on me. So they gave me like a underage possession of tobacco or whatever.
I haven't thought about all the drinking I did in woods in fucking like 30 years, but the woods was such a great place to go party.
So much fun, man. I had a lot of fun getting fucked up. Even doing heroin, man, was a lot of fucking fun.
Me too.
Just the routine and the thrill of going to pick up and getting away with it.
That is one of the most exciting things. I always talk about that. This last time, I'm 40-something years old. I got a good job. If I wasn't buying drugs, I would have had a good amount of money. But I'd get off of work, and I'd go pick up my boy in Lake Worth, who was a blood, and he'd get in the work van with his gun, and we'd go and pick up bundles in Hollywood, sandwich bags of Xanax bars, cocaine, whatever it was, gangbangers in the back of the van with briefcases that were getting dropped off at barbershops. And, like, it was awesome because... One, I'm getting high, and I'm getting high for free because I'm doing all this, hustling with them. But it was exciting.
Right.
Like, it was always exciting. At any moment, shit could go wrong real fast. And
it's exhilarating, man. It's just like the ritual of everything, too. You get sick, but then once you fucking shoot up and you get right, and you're just chasing the drag. But, after getting arrested the second time, I think I did another bullshit outpatient program in Chicago, and, it didn't stick. I stayed sober. I worked on myself a little bit. I don't think I went to meetings or anything. Again, I was already introduced to AA like 5 years ago. Nah, fuck that. I don't need that. I was re-enrolled in fucking community college at this point. For some reason, got shoved down my throat. Oh, you gotta get a degree. We need trades, motherfucker. We're fucked. Yes. Just to say, like, our country and the world, mostly the United States, is fucked.
Absolutely.
Go to trade school. Stop fucking getting
degrees
philosophy degrees.
Gender, philosophy, diversity study.
Thank God DeSantis banned that shit. But whatever. I mean, I'm in a grad school program for social work, so what does that tell you?
Loser.
Yeah, I go back to community college, and I remember I'm sitting there like doing a presentation in front of the class, and I just completed the outpatient program. I actually completed this one successfully. I did it right, but I still had reservations. Like, I'm still going to smoke pot. So literally, like, I'm standing up there, and I had this thought, like, I can actually get high to get away with it. This is awesome. And so that's what I fucking did. I went and picked up more weed and got high, and then, dude, I was so fucking stupid. All the facts are laid out in front of me, and thinking that it's going to be different this time, right? Fucking insanity. I mean, that girl that I mentioned, man, like I said, we were on and off for like 5 years. Our relationship was toxic. Eventually, my mom started talking with my cousin. So my cousin went to treatment in Central Florida. Buttfuck, Central Florida. It was like an hour and a half in northwest of Orlando, in the middle of fucking nowhere. It was like Umatilla. Like fucking some corn, rednecky. But anyway, so my mom was like, all right, you're going to go to this treatment center. You're going to follow your cousin there. Your cousin said it's a good program. Boy, was he wrong. This place was complete dog shit. It was in a giant building. I think it was like a renovated like women's prison or some shit, and they turned it into a full-blown treatment center with the full continuum of care, mind you. So detox, residential, PHP, IOP, all that bullshit. But I did that for 52 days. And my mom didn't tell me that my cousin only stayed there for a week. I was there for 52 fucking days, okay? It was terrible treatment, but the people I was in there with were good. And I actually stayed in touch with them for a while. And of course, they always recommend continuing care. Go to a halfway house. Go to sober living. Continue therapy. I'm like, no. I'm going to go home and pretend like nothing happened. And that's what I did. And yet again, I lasted, I think, about 14 days, maybe 11 days, something like that. Again, I was like, I'm only going to get high once. I just need to get it out of my system. I went straight back to heroin. Using a needle. And it was predetermined. It was planned out. I didn't get high that day. I was like, I'm going to get high tomorrow. So I woke up that morning. I got a haircut. So I went, like, this is all after my first, like, real deal treatment. Yeah, none of this outpatient bullshit. Yeah, so I got done with my haircut and I called dude. And I didn't call him for, like, 2 months. So I was wondering, like, who is this? And I'm like, oh, it's Kevin with the blue car. And he knew exactly. I was like, oh, what's up, dude? And, immediately went there, picked up, I probably only picked up like $40 or $50 worth, man. I was fucking nauseous. I was vomiting. It wasn't like I remembered it, dude. It wasn't. I was like, this is terrible. I'm glad I got this out of my system. I'm only going to get high once. So I went to bed that night, but then I woke up.
That's enough to make anyone want to get high.
And that's exactly what it was, man. I was like, fuck. I want to get high. So yeah, that's what I did. I went back to work. I held it down for a little bit. I probably lasted for like another year and a half. Yeah, about a good year. It got worse, dude. I think at this point, dude, I stopped showering. I stopped eating. I was just living to get high. And we were living with that girl and her mom and her little sister. And she's Ukrainian, right? And her mom just got off the fucking boat, but it's been like 10 years. She still doesn't know what the fuck's going on half the time. But anyway, we're living in her basement. We're just getting high. We're ripping people off. You know, you go to Chicago on the west side, you pick up a jab. You know, you bring that shit back to the suburbs, dude. You can take more than half out of the bag and charge twice the price. So that's what we did. We weren't fucking moving weight. We're just like selling to fucking... maintain. Yeah. So I wasn't fucking dealing with no briefcases or anything like you were, like Ziploc baggies full of Xanax. Like, damn, that wasn't me, dude. I was dealing with like hundreds of dollars. So the second time, my mom found this place in Southern California. Dr. Phil recommends it.
You said Passages of Malibu?
No, yeah. What is that guy's name? Dax or whatever? He's like, I used to be a drug addict, but now I'm not. Dumbass. But Dr. Phil recommends this place. It's been featured on A&E's Intervention. Real nice shit. It's in beautiful South Orange County, California. The guy I was in detox with and throughout the whole program, he was doing the intervention deal on A&E. That was pretty interesting because when I left that program and his episode aired, I got to see like the episode, and it was fucking crazy, man. To see like somebody you're in treatment with and they're like fucking on A&E's intervention was fucking wild. But anyway,
like, so he was the one actually like helping the people?
No, like he was a test subject, if you will, right? Like a case study or whatever the fuck they're called. But I actually listened at that point. I got a good sponsor. I followed suggestion for the most part, but I still wanted to smoke weed and drink. I let all that shit out though. I didn't hold it in like every other time. I was always caught up by the girl too. The girl always fucking had me coming back. But I stayed out there. I stayed sober for like 110 days. It's a long fucking time. Dude. I got kicked out of the halfway house because I missed my psychiatrist appointment because it was my only day off and I wanted to be on The Price is Right. The Price is fucking right. My halfway roommate, he's like, yeah, man, it's free. All you have to do is just sign up. You go to the studio and it's kind of like an amusement park ride. When you're waiting in line, they take a picture of you and all that bullshit and charge you $50 for it. You go through their fucking little bullshit gift shop. And then they line you up by like 20. And they do flash interview, the producer or whatever, and they ask you, like, what are you doing in L.A.? What do you do for a living? And
this is to actually get on, be a contestant?
Well, yeah, you can go and, like, be in the audience and everything. But obviously, they're only going to pick, like, beautiful people.
Yeah. Well.
Or, like, people who, like, have disability. And that's literally what they did. There was a smoking hot cheerleader from UCLA there. Of course, she got on. And then they picked person in the wheelchair, of course. They're not going to pick me, who's fucking from Chicago and, like, working at TJ Maxx. But anyway, it was still a great experience. But I missed my psychiatrist appointment because I was supposed to get the Vivitrol shot again for like the 10th time because that was gonna save my life. I get back from LA all the way back to Orange County, which is like a drive. It's like a good hour and a half, 2 hours away without any traffic. The house manager was like, oh, Kevin, you dodged your psychiatrist appointment. And I'm like, no, the psychiatrist was running late. And I think I said something racist about the psychiatrist. Because, you know, they started accusing me, and I didn't like how he was coming at me. And then he wanted me to pee. I was like, all right, I'm trying to pee. But, like, he was being weird about it, dude. He was staring at my junk the whole time. And I was like, dude, I'm not having this, because it was never like that before. Very, very hostile. And I was like, you know what, dude? Fuck you, and fuck that head psychiatrist. Sorry. But that's what I said. And he kicked me out. He bagged up all my shit in a black hefty bag, threw it out the fucking the front door. He called the sheriff on me because I refused to leave. But I bailed before the sheriff showed up, and actually called my sponsor. I slept on my sponsor's couch for a few nights, and then moved into like a different halfway house. Stayed there for 30 days, but I had every intention of partying it, so I did. And that lasted again maybe like 2 weeks before I'm fucking smoking black tar heroin off a tinfoil with people I was in rehab with.
In California?
In California, bro. And I'm like, these guys, like, let's fucking bang this shit. Why are we smoking it? What the fuck is this? And everyone was like, yo, no, we're not doing it. I'm like, you guys are pussy. So what did I go do? I fucking went to a CVS, and I guess
Said you're diabetic.
said I was diabetic, but in California, the law is much different compared to Illinois. Because in Illinois, they'll just give it to you, no questions asked. But in California, you need the pharmacist's discretion or a recommendation from your provider. But I had to shop around a little bit. But I think it was like the second or third CVS that I went to, they gave it. But black tar is it's hard to deal with rather than just like powder. Or
And then when you cook it up, it's dark, so you don't know when you're hitting a vein.
No, it wasn't great.
But when it works.
It was fantastic, man. So that lasted about another month. I'm living with some fucking family that I met on Craigslist. Great family though. I moved up to Huntington Beach. Great area. Great fucking area. A lot of white supremacist movements and neo-Nazis are in Huntington Beach.
Isn't that where American History X is based off of?
Bite the fucking curb. I'm like shooting up in their fucking spare bedroom, and they have like a kid there. You know, the dude was really nice, and he was trying to get into Hollywood. He was making like all these bullshit little like fucking productions and everything. And he'd show me, I actually smoked pot with him a bunch too. Great guy. But like just your typical SoCal fucking dad. The wife is in real estate and the kid just plays Fortnite all fucking night long. Other little bastard. But yeah, I remember it was like 10 o'clock in the morning and my mom called. And usually when my mom calls me that early, like something's up. She's like, Kevin, I know what you've been doing. I'm trying to play it off. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, I know you're getting high. I guess the treatment center did their job. Told my mom that I was getting high again because they found out. And I was like, what the fuck is that? They broke my HIPAA. Meanwhile, it's like, that's all bullshit because they're in it to like save my life, but I'm jaded as shit. I owe a lot of amends to people out there, man. I owe a lot of amends. I gotta make an amends trip out there. Come to think of it.
And maybe get on The Price is Right.
And maybe get on The Price is Right again and become a contestant. Yeah. Except for I'm not beautiful and I don't have a disability. Break my leg. Go up there in a wheelchair.
Just get a wheelchair. It doesn't have to be broken.
Yeah, sure. That's true.
Say you have spinal bifida.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone who actually has that. So
is that spinal bifida? Is that a real thing?
I think. I mean, I've read about it.
It doesn't sound sophisticated.
I think it's something that prevents you from walking.
I would fit right in Hollywood because everything's fucking fake out there. I don't like it out there, man. It's fucking weird. But it is beautiful. My mom found out, went back to detox, but I don't want any of this shit. I think I took a couple strips of Suboxone. I was like, yo, sign me the fuck out. And they were great. They gave me my wallet. They gave me my keys to my car, everything. They are fantastic at AMA blocking. They just gave some heroin junkie everything he needs to relapse again. But I didn't get high. Actually, what I did was I drove all the way from LA all the way back to Chicago. The same car I had to this day, my little Corolla. And I'm still kicking, you know, get the cold sweats, the hot flashes, still sweating, can't sleep, I'm all jittery, clammy. I get back to Chicago, the first thing I do is hit up dude, same thing. It's like, oh, who is this? And it's like, no, it's me with the blue car. But I got a black car this time. And I shot up, but I only did a little bit. You know what I mean?
Respectfully.
I didn't want to die. I just wanted to keep getting high. And I got back with the old lady. But goddamn, her face was sunken in. She was so skinny. It was about 5 months, right, that we were apart. I pull up to her house, and there's some black dudes, like, pulling away. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I go in there like, who the fuck is that? And it's like, oh, it's just my crack dealer. I'm like, so here I am, like, right back to it, smoking crack with the old lady, getting high. And it took about 10 days, about a week and a half for it to really hit me to be like, what the fuck did I had a good life in California, man. When I was building out there, I had a great sponsor. I was plugged in with good people for those 110 days. Lo and behold, my cousin, who I have a knack of following to shitty treatment centers, gets me plugged in with yet another shitty treatment center. Here it is in Stuart, Florida. I was like, all right, I'll do it. Because the girl, she was fucked up, dude. She was bad. And like we picked up right where we left off. Everything was toxic. I was a little bitch, so codependent. Where are you going? I can't do that.
The Ukrainian girlfriend.
The Ukrainian fucking girlfriend. She had like this nice vintage guitar that wasn't hers. Like one of her friends gave it to her. So things were kind of going rocky with us. And I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to get out of here and go to fucking South Florida and get treatment again. So I took her guitar and I go to fucking Guitar Center. Walk in there like, all right, I'm going to sell this guitar. Yeah, it's definitely mine. Here you go. Here's my ID and everything. Here's $200. That guitar was worth at least like $1,500 probably. My plan was to have a jab and $100 of gas and make it from Chicago to fucking South Florida to go to treatment. But I didn't even make it like a third of the way. I got to Kentucky. My mom's originally from Kentucky. My cousin, so my aunt and uncle, his parents, they live right there, and it's pretty much on the way. They live right off of 75. Pull over and I hang out with them for a little bit. They know everything. They're helping me. They're like, hey, come get some rest, relax, get something to eat, you know. we'll give you some money too so you can make it. First of all, I was already running out of dope. I only had like 2 bags out of $100 worth of dope. And from Chicago to Kentucky, that's only like 6 hours. But anyway, I spend the night there and I wake up the next morning and there's like, there's no fucking way I can do this. So they put me on a plane from Cincinnati to Orlando. And, you know, we get a hold of the treatment center. The treatment center they're like, all right, from Orlando, go to Fort Lauderdale. They pick me up in Fort Lauderdale. They drive me up to detox. Let me back up a little bit. So about that guitar, right? As soon as I make it to Kentucky, I got voicemails from the Lakin and Hills Police Department, and it's some detective saying, hey, Kevin, we got a report that you might have pawned some stolen property. We're just trying to put all of our ducks in a row here and see your side of things. Please give us a call back. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking call you back. What the fuck? And meanwhile, my girlfriend, my ex is like blowing me up like, fuck you. I hope you fucking die. You know, all this like really dark shit. And I don't blame her because, you know, I was a piece of shit for taking her guitar and just like ditching her essentially, but she turned into like a fucking an evil woman hooked on crack cocaine. I get to detox and there I am like laying in bed. I couldn't get out of bed. The place was called Treasure Coast Recovery, I think.
Is it still around?
No, fuck no. And then they changed their name to like Executive Recovery Center. And I don't give a fuck about any of these places, so I'm putting them on blast. I think it was called Treatment Management Company or Corporation or some shit. Fuck you, okay?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, they... I don't even think they exist anymore because they got caught.
They usually do.
Yeah, changing their name and fucking they were drug testing me 4 or 5 times a week.
Because they charge insurance then.
Yeah, fuck you guys. But technically it worked, and that was by far the worst fucking program that I went to. And I went to some pretty bad places. But you know what? It fucking worked, dude, because I was cooked. I was done. Like I said in the beginning, I came down here absolutely crushed. The guilt and the shame that I had, all those events leading up to it. I felt really bad for my girl. And I still wanted to be with her, and she still wanted to be with me, which is fucking crazy. But that's how it goes. She dropped all the charges eventually. The last time I got high, I should mention this, that last bag that I had that was going to make it from fucking Kentucky to South Florida, did it in my cousin's bathroom. His childhood bathroom. Was the place the last time I got high, and half the shot went into a fucking artery. It was awful, dude. It fucking sucked. You know, your arm swells up instantly. It burns. It's like, fuck. Dude, all my veins were shot. I remember one time, one of the several times I went to detox, I was so bad I went to detox twice in 1 week because I was a little bitch. I didn't want to be fucking dope sick. The doctor said I had an abscess growing. It wasn't a full-blown abscess yet, but he said if you kept shooting up in that spot, I would have lost my arm. They put me on, I think it's Augment. It's like amoxicillin crack. Like a really strong antibiotic. That did the job. Yeah, so the last time I got high, it wasn't even that great. Yeah, it was actually awful. So I get the detox filled with guilt, shame. I got fucking warrants out for my arrest at this point because of stolen property. They had me on camera.
Well, and you gave your ID too.
I gave my ID. Yes, I didn't give a fuck, dude. I needed to get high and I needed to get the fuck up out of it, you know. And so I did. I go to treatment. I do like the 6 or 7 days of detox, and then I move into residential. And this is where I meet my current wife. The detox was right over here actually, just south of us.
Is it a 2-story building?
Yeah.
No,
and there's a tiki hut. Yeah, that's a detox. I don't know if it's a detox now.
No, he's abandoned right now. In like 2019, I changed the air conditioning on that roof, and I went and got high in their bathroom.
No shit. Yeah.
And I was laughing at the losers that were in this drug treatment center because I'm getting high, having the time of my life in their bathroom.
Yeah, there you go. And they had a pool that you couldn't use because everyone's on detox meds, so they can't have that liability. So it's like, then empty the pool, assholes. And then they moved me to residential for like 11 days because I had good insurance. It was my stepmom's fucking Aetna plan, PPO, great fucking plan. I met my wife there. Yeah. She remembered me. I didn't really remember her because I was so fucked up still. Because she already been like in that program for several weeks at this point.
So she was the one taking advantage of a newcomer.
Yeah. But we're both really sick, and we still are. But I remember, dude, all I wanted to do was smoke crack. I didn't even want to do dope. I just wanted to smoke crack. It was weird. I did not want to be sober. The whole time I was thinking, who do I need to manipulate to get the fuck up out of here? What am I going to say to my parents? How am I going to get back to Chicago so I can bang my girlfriend and fucking smoke crack and do heroin, you know? But the overwhelming like obsession to use crack was so intense. But I remember having a conversation with my mom on the phone. It's like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna do this and fucking get a, you know, tune up and come back. After everything I just described, it's fucking crazy. And I remember she said, fuck you, Kevin. You are literally killing me and your whole family. Fuck you. And then she hung up, and that stuck with me, man. Thank God my mom fucking finally did that. I deserved it. After that day, man, I think some switch got flipped. I went into my therapist's office and was like, all right, tell me what the fuck I need to do. And she didn't even like know who I was. She was like, is this the same Kevin who's been here for like a week saying he's good? He knows how to stay sober and get sober? Fucking crazy. I spent my 24th birthday, I think, in residential treatment. April 18th of 2018 was the last time I ever shot anything up. I still didn't really want it. I didn't. So when people tell you, oh, you gotta want it in AA meetings, fuck those people. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking. Because I can guarantee you when they came in, they didn't fucking want it either. They were probably sleeping on fucking whoever's couch and fucking their wife was about to divorce them. Oh, you gotta want it. Fuck you. You still wanted to drink too, I'm sure.
I didn't want to be homeless. I didn't want to be in prison. That's what I didn't want. I didn't want sobriety or recovery. I just wanted to learn how to not get in trouble anymore and not be miserable. And I guess eventually that turned into sobriety and recovery. But yeah, that chase your recovery the way you chase your drug, no. I half measured the shit out of things for years. And maybe this is why all my sponsees suck, because I say, like, you're half-assing it, but so did I. It comes in time, but yes.
It ebbs and flows, man. It really does. You know, after completing the program, you know, hanging out with my little treatment center girlfriend, who's now my wife, like I said. Don't do that, by the way. That's a terrible idea. We definitely broke the probability of all space and time. But I got a sponsor, and my first meeting in IOP and sober living was at a DAA meeting, right? And I didn't know what DAA was. All I knew was like AA and CA, NA. I even knew about like sex and love addiction, codependent meeting, Pills Anonymous. There's a Pills Anonymous. Did you know that?
No.
I went to a Pills Anonymous. It's all fucking, what is it? Postmenopause?
Yes.
Or menopause women?
Like 50, 60-year-old women.
Yeah, and they're all like hooked on their Adderall and Xanax
Xanax.
and shit. Yeah, and they were nice ladies.
Can't get them pregnant. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, they were rough. They all had like really extreme mental health issues, and you could tell like they were all nuts because they would keep rearranging the piece of paper and the pen on the table. They couldn't sit still, and it's like I felt really bad. The tech at the treatment center was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to a DAA meeting." I'm like, "What the fuck is that? I don't want to go to this shit. What are you dragging me into?" That same night, I asked a different dude to be my sponsor. That's where that switch flip, like I mentioned, really just it stayed on. And he took the time and day to sit with me. And I remember the Dunkin' Donuts right here on US 1. We sat down, and first thing he asked me is like, "Are you done?" And I've said this so many fucking times before. I said, "Yeah, I'm fucking done." But something was different that time. Just doing like that deep reflection and all those insane fucking things I did. And for the longest time, man, I thought I was just hurting myself. But dude, I was hurting every single fucking person I came in contact with. But yeah, my sponsor, he took the time out of the day to meet with me on a weekly basis. We got through the 12 steps within like 11 weeks. We brought meetings to halfway houses and treatment centers and detoxes. I did all that shit. By like 11 weeks, like I said, he's like, "All right, I want you to fucking start sponsoring people." And I'm like, "Oh shit. Are you sure?" During that 11 weeks, dude, I graduated myself from the IOP because I was like, fuck this. Like, these people are telling me I need to keep going to group. I don't need this shit. Like, my insurance is tired of paying for everything, dude. They would start denying claims when you go to fucking half a dozen treatment centers and half a dozen detoxes twice in the 1 week and all these other, like, fucking semi-luxurious treatment centers. They get tired of your ass. So I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to sign myself out. And I fucking moved into, like, a 3-quarter house. I stayed there for, like, 10 months and got plugged in with some solid guys. And my cousin, because, like I said, I had an act to follow him to wherever he went to treatment. He got me plugged in with some really good guys who I'm still in touch with to this day. You know, all of them got, like, good jobs and wife and kids and the house and all this like cool shit that like recovery gives, right? But they still have that peace of mind, intent. You know, they help other men to this day, and that's what fucking keeps me going. Stayed with my girl, that girl that I met in detox. Stayed with her the whole time, dude. Stayed with the whole time, and everyone was telling us, fucking, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. We went to the Suburban, the fucking motel there, and we'd fucking...
Oh, I know where it is. I've been there.
Suburban's fucking great, dude. Such premium accommodations there.
If you haven't relapsed yet, you can go to the Suburban, and they will accommodate you immediately.
You can find anything you need there. We would get like a little room there for the day. We couldn't spend the night there because we were both, you know,
still in halfway.
Right, so I had to show up for curfew. But we did that, and we stuck it out. But like I said, man, I came down here fucking cooked. You know, I showed up for her when she was struggling, and you know, here we are now, and we got married, and we got a beautiful daughter and our own home. I mean, the bank owns it. I got an asset. You know, life is fucking good, dude. I still sponsor people. That's really what continues to keep me on the straight and narrow, dude. Because if I don't give it back, dude, I can't. You know, and my life is not fucking perfect. Just ask my wife. I'm a fucking asshole. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You can be an asshole as long as you're helping others.
That's true. That's true.
But you were talking about this statistic. You actually met a girl and got married, and you're both sober and you both have a house, you both are grown-ups, that's not happening for anybody else.
We have a daughter.
You took that 1 in a million shot away from everybody else.
Yeah.
And I kind of have a half. There's an asterisk next to my relationship. It works so bad that it works, but it's also a 1 in a million thing. So nobody else should ever try.
Don't fucking do it.
It's like we got the 2 winning lotto tickets. So what's the point of playing?
Yeah.
You're going to fuck up.
Yeah. Because, like I said, man, I came down here fucking cooked, but she still had some in her. But my wife has never seen me high. My daughter's never seen me high. I've never been high in the state of Florida.
There's not a lot of people in Florida that can say that.
Probably not. Probably not. I'm one of the rare few. Today, man, I work, and I don't recommend this either. Don't fucking get a job in treat. I fucked up. But I like what I do now. I've been doing it for too long to back out. You know, like I said, I'm in school for social work. I'm an alumni coordinator for a young adult males with substance use disorders. It's an extended program, but it's nice. We do like experiential activities. We go deep sea fishing. We go mountain bike. They do like free diving.
Far ride from driving the blue car to Coppa Jack.
Big time, dude. Big time. I can't make my work my program either, right? So you'll hear it a lot too. If you work in treatment, oh, you don't have to go to meetings. Yeah, that's bullshit.
No.
Let me tell you, dude, during the coronavirus, what a fucking shit show that was. My now wife, we lived with another couple. Terrible, I have fucking idea. We moved out within 3 weeks. We got our own apartment, and then 2 weeks after we moved in, we found out she's pregnant, and then 2 weeks after that, fucking the pandemic broke out. And that was a fucked up year.
There's specific people I'm talking about when I say this, that work in treatment, that don't go to meetings anymore. And I don't know where that became a thing, that going to treatment counts as a program, because my point always is, if you go by the big book, it says that we should help others and expect nothing in return. Right. If your life's about helping others because you work in treatment, you're expecting a paycheck. Right. And right there, it crosses it out. But
none of us make a sole vocation of this work, right? So I don't. I still take guys through the book, even though it's not as much as I should. I have a sponsor, but he probably doesn't know that I'm a sponsee.
Those are the good ones.
Because at the end of the day, dude, why the fuck am I going to take up his time that could probably be better suited to help somebody who actually...
I learned a long time ago, and you can ask my sponsor this, we still have a relationship, we still see each other every week, but if I'm calling him for a problem, it's because I already know the answer. If I have to think about it and ask somebody else, I'm already wrong. It's easy to solve this, so I just stopped calling him.
And like, my power has to be rooted in something that's not of human nature, right? It's got to be in something bigger than myself. So if I mean, in the beginning, dude, I didn't believe it. I didn't. And to this day, like, I guess I could call it God. You know, it's just easier to call it that. You know, I don't practice any religion. I've never been a religious person. I wasn't raised in the church or nothing. Kind of like Bill Wilson, man. He talks about, like, the spirit of the universe. This all-knowing, all-powerful entity that, you know, helped him fucking pull him out of the depths of hell. That's kind of what I believe in. Like, whatever you pack into the stream of life is what you're going to get out of it. So still, at the end of the day, like, if my sponsor doesn't answer, like, I'm still stuck. So
unless you have something greater than your sponsor. Talking about God, whatever you want to call it. When you're sitting in that car thinking I'm going to stick this needle in my arm, your sponsor might not answer, your girlfriend might not answer, there's a chance no one will answer. You have to already be in connect with something bigger than you that will answer. God is always there, telling you, no, dumbass, don't fucking poke that vein.
Too late. I'm doing it. If I went that fucking far, ain't no way in hell I'm not getting high.
Okay, yes, I agree. But you know? I was just trying to make an analogy.
Sure.
If me and actual God are in a room together and there's Oxy 80s, like, sorry, God.
It's a rare find. When in Rome. Life is fucking good. All that, like, material shit's cool and all, but at the end of the day, I'm okay with myself. I can just be at peace. I can relax, be by myself, do the things I enjoy. Because before, dude, I couldn't do that. I could not spend a day by myself. I had to be with other people. And now today, I fucking avoid people. Because people fucking suck, dude. You know?
It's great to avoid people.
It's awesome. But, like, now, like, my family actually wants to spend time with me, which is fucking crazy. After all that shit I put them through, they shouldn't even fucking talk to me, dude. With sleepless nights, all the money I've stolen, the fucked up situations I put them in, begging them for money when I couldn't fucking, like, rip anybody else off and all the shit was already pawned. Sometimes it's really tough for me to think that I lived like that for so long. It really wasn't that long. You know, it was only, like, the better part of a decade. It's really not that long in the grand scheme.
Yes.
It's not that long. But, dude, it was fucking ugly, man. It was fucking ugly. And every time I relapsed, I picked up right where I left off, dude. And sometimes I got arrested after relapsing, like, that day. Not fucking fun. If you think you got another fucking run in you, I think about that shit. Because I know for a fact, especially these days, man, everyone that I was getting high with is fucking dead.
And the majority of people I know that have relapsed since I've been here are dead.
Yeah.
And they died, like, the first night or the first weekend out.
It's fucking scary. So, like, one reason why I do what I do and to continue to stay sober is to honor those, you know, who didn't get that chance. because I've lost a lot of people close to me, and I know they would want me to do this work. To not only do it professionally, but to also like do it, you know, in my free time too. Everyone I know in Florida, they're all through the rooms of AA or DAA. Some people are out there, you know, holding it down, drinking and smoking and shit. At the end of the day, if you're a fucking true drug addict, there ain't no fucking way. Believe me, I've tried.
Every time I pick up again, it might take a couple years, or sometimes it only takes a week, but I always end up in a crash car going to jail. So if I were to get high again, even if it's just one Klonopin, one Adderall, one Xanax, one Cap, it does not matter. If I decide I'm going to try smoking weed, I'll just try drinking a beer this time. Going to end up in a crash car on my way to jail, and this time I'm never getting out.
For sure, man. I remember I was driving back from DeKalb, right? And it started raining out. Backcountry roads, 55 miles an hour, but the roads would wind. I was still drunk, and I was driving my buddy's fucking hoopty. It was like a 2001 Honda Accord. It was a nice car. Those things are reliable as shit. But we hydroplaned, and we took out this fucking road sign, and we land up in the middle of a fucking cornfield, dude, and we're covered in fucking glass. He's pissed drunk still. Like this, it's broad daylight at this point the next day. I'm just like, dude, I'm so fucking sorry. He doesn't really know what the fuck's going on. But like the car is drivable, so I pull out of this fucking cornfield and just pretend like nothing happens and get right back on the road. And every time we take a right turn, the door just swings right open, dude. And it's obviously like the car is fucked. It was beyond repair. It was drivable, but it had to be totaled out. I can relate to that. Crashing cars and shit.
Some advice for people, whoever the fuck sees us.
Listen to the people that came before you. Because I didn't. I'm a stubborn motherfucker. I thought I knew what was best for me in every fucked up situation that I got. Take the suggestion. Any step out of the 12 steps that begins with 1, you can do that right now. Admitting your life is unmanageable and that you're powerless over drugs and alcohol. Step 10, continue to take personal inventory. And when we're wrong, promptly admitted it. Right, we can do that. We can take our inventory. Prayer and meditation in step 11. And I'm not saying start sponsoring people when you're in fucking detox still, but like being of service, right? Whatever that may look like for you. Just being a good person or talking through some shit with somebody who's struggling, sharing your experience.
And don't start dating.
Yeah, don't fucking do that. One of you is probably going to get high, and then you're both going to get high.
They always end up.
It took a lot for me not to get high when my fucking wife was using.
Took a lot for me not to murder.
You know what's crazy with my arrest record? Even though I'm not a violent offender or anything, and I have been institutionalized, the state of Florida gave me a gun. Isn't that fucked up? I'm a concealed carry. They allow me to do that. Like I have the actual permit. I know we're like a constitutional carry state, but I applied for the permit. They gave it to me.
Thanks to Santos.
The system's fucking broken, dude. The system is fucking broken. Man, it's wild. Honestly, you can help people even today. You know, if you're feeling like shit and you're thinking to yourself, how the fuck did I wind up in this position? Again, take the suggestion. Listen to the people that come before you. And if you like what somebody has to say and they know what the fuck they're talking about, ask them for their phone number, right? Don't even put a label on it. Fuck the whole sponsee deal in the beginning. It's cool. If you like them, you don't have to do that right away. Get their fucking phone number. Get plugged in. Roll with the people who are doing the fucking deal. Not that are fucking hanging out, preying on the girls or preying on the men. Fucking do that. Go to meetings, work the fucking steps, and shut the fuck up. Do the work. What are those stupid sayings? You know, AA's not for the people that want it or need it. It's for the people that fucking do it. Right? So just do the fucking work, and I promise you, you stay sober, your life is gonna get better.
But no matter what, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up and listen. Yeah.
Thank you for watching The Recovery Idiot. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And visit therecoveryidiot.com. Let the world know you are a recovery idiot by buying a shirt instead of that pressed pill. Follow us where you still can. We will have our revenge on Instagram, in this life or the next. Always remember to put enough gas into your car to make it home before you huff it all. And don't be a pussy. If you are not shooting it up, you're just wasting it.